Good evening. It's 5:30 PM on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, and this special meeting of the Sandpoint City Council is now called to order. Council Chambers, City Hall, 1123 West Lake Street, Sandpoint, Idaho. For the record, I'm Mayor Jeremy Grimm presiding. Also present are Council President Deb Rule, Councilors Joe Spiro, Justin Dick, Kyle Schreiber, Rick Howarth, and Council Pam Duquette is absent. Under the city's adopted code of ethics and civility, as the presiding officer, I'm to identify law enforcement personnel serving as Sergeant at Arms for this evening's meeting. Tonight, we have Police Chief Corey Kuhn in the building. He's just not in the room at the moment. If everyone please stand, we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we'll proceed with the public comment portion of the meeting. If you wish to speak and haven't yet signed up, Wayne, do you wish to speak tonight on this item? I see no public members. I'm going to just keep moving right along. Madam Clerk, anyone on Zoom?
Mr. Mayor, no one is on Zoom.
Okay, we will proceed to the contract award. Final item on the agenda is a proposed resolution awarding the contract for the downtown parking lot repaving project. And I will now yield the floor to Project Manager Eric Bush.
Good evening, councilors, Mr. Mayor. Eric Bush, Project Manager, City Forester. I will try to be brief but informative, so feel free to ask me to touch on anything I skip. Okay, give you a little bit of background. This is the same information we went through a few weeks ago, but I'll just run through it briefly. Existing asphalt and lighting are in poor condition. There's tripping hazards. The lighting does not provide enough light for safe lighting in a parking lot. This project's been budgeted with SURA since 2014, so we're on year 11. We will get this project completed and expended on year 11. So what we're doing, scope of work on the new parking lot, is new asphalt, dark sky compliant street lighting, improved ADA access, additional stormwater treatment, new shade trees, and a new and safer entrance along 3rd Avenue. And I have a graphic that I'll pull up shortly. A little bit of rundown on what is there currently versus new. Currently, there's 127 spaces. There will be 119 spaces upon completion of this project. We've lost a few spaces since the previous presentation due to enlarging some of the tree islands and some other items that I'll touch on shortly. We are maintaining 5 accessible spaces. That exceeds the requirement per ADA. We have 1 more space than is required. So I've got one set of our bid drawings that is up on the screen here, our overall plan set. Briefly, the new entrance along 3rd Avenue, if you can see my cursor, will enter just north of the hardware store, if you're familiar over in this location. Traffic will have to, when you come into the parking lot, you will have to take a right turn and come down the aisle to the southern end of the parking lot. Once you're on the southern end of the parking lot, you will have the option to choose between the center lane with stalls or the eastern lane with stalls. If you miss a spot or need to make a circle back around, you can come back past the entrance and then choose the other stall. That's how the traffic will flow. Vehicles will flow through this parking lot. It's currently 2-way as described. This will be one-way drive aisles from 2-way that exist currently. There are 4 clusters, 4 tree groups that will be saved. 3 of them are individual on the northwest corner, northeast corner, and kind of in this central eastern island. Those trees are existing and will remain and be maintained as a part of the project. Additionally, the cluster of cedars on the southeast corner of the parking lot will also be maintained. The green circles with additional trees are 2 new trees we will be planting upon completion of the project. And ADA spaces are spread kind of throughout the parking lot. There's 3 on the northwest corner, 1 on the southwest corner, and 1 on the southeast corner. So we've been working pretty hard on public outreach. So this was presented to the Urban Forestry Commission on March 6th. Their comments and requests were accounted for in the final drawing that I had on the screen in the previous slide. It was also presented to the Pedestrian and Bicycle Advisory Committee on February 13th. Beyond our citizen committees and commissions, the project was presented to the Chamber of Commerce and the Sandpoint Downtown Business Association. And construction notifications flyers. I handed one to Counselor Dick this afternoon. Those I posted on the public bulletin boards on Friday of last week. Notifications are ongoing. We reached about half of the downtown businesses today. We'll get the other half tomorrow morning and get that cleared up. Project, there's also information on Sandpoint's website. There's a project specific page which will drive you to our ClearGov webpage, and it's also under the news tab on the Sandpoint website. And as mentioned previously, it's also posted on the downtown bulletin boards, the public bulletin boards. If there are additional boards and you don't see a slide, let me know because I missed one, and I'll go back and make sure we have it on all of them. So schedule, assuming this contract is awarded this evening, construction is going to begin next week. Contractor is raring to go. There is a tight time frame on the project. Final completion date is May 9th. So just about 3 weeks from start to finish. Work hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, no weekend work. Downtown parking lot will be closed entirely to all parking during construction, about 3 weeks. There is a chance that we will have temporary traffic controls on Oak, Church, or Third, any of those three. Likely this would occur during the project when they are removing the existing two driveway aprons and replacing the new apron on Third Avenue. It's unlikely that there would be any controls on each of these three at the same time. It's likely it would be one street individually, and perhaps the next day they move to the next street, that sort of structure. We will be like we do with all of our projects. If they would like to close a lane or have temporary traffic controls during this project, they'll submit a traffic control plan to us that's reviewed by Brandon, our city engineer, and approved. Additionally, public street parking will be available all throughout downtown as a part of this project. 3 and 4 hour parking zone limits will be lifted for the duration of this project. So part of the notification of the downtown businesses was informing them that the parking lot will be unavailable, but the requirements of 3 or 4 hour street parking will be lifted so they can utilize that parking throughout the project. And finally, quick kind of bid information. The bid opening was last Thursday on April 3rd. The low bidder was Wink Inc. They are out of Bonners Ferry. Their bid amount was $434,085. And this project and bid results were within our project budget. With that said, I went through this pretty quickly, so I'm happy to stand for any questions or answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Eric. Can you just go back to the layout real quickly? I think your second slide. Excellent. Excellent. Do council members have any questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilman Howarth.
Hi, Eric. I do have a couple. Do we have any experience working with Wink? They're unknown to me. I did some research on the website, but have we worked with Wink before?
Have we as an agency?
Not at the city. We do not have experience. They are a local contractor. They do a lot of projects locally in Bonners Ferry. Anytime we award a contract to a contractor who we haven't worked before, we always call around and get references. And this contractor does come with very good references from our local neighbors.
And I was going to follow up with that. Any Better Business Bureau complaints at all against Wink?
No.
Okay. And as I looked at, again, I didn't know who Wink was. As I looked at their website, their focus is excavation and crushing. Are they going to also do the paving themselves? Are they going to outsource that? Because I didn't see on their website that that was a skill.
Wink is not a paving company, so they will have a subcontractor that will be completing the paving.
Do we know who that is?
I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it's Woods. I'll have to double check that. I can verify and let you know.
Okay. And do we, again, not knowing who Wink is, until looking today, do we know what their financial health is?
All of our contractors that we award, we have licensing requirements and they are within the appropriate license. So the 400 or 440 approximately $1,000, they are in the classification that allows them to bid that limit.
Okay. A couple more questions. So, Wink was obviously the lowest bidder. I didn't read every page of the contract, but can you tell me, if we look at are there any hidden costs that, as an example, if there was a change order, is there rates that they charge for the change orders higher than other bidders? Where if we looked at the totality of the potential cost, they would still be the lowest bidder?
There's always a chance when you bid a unit price construction contract, which is what this project was bid as. There's always a chance that if you were to dive into the numbers and put forward a theoretical situation of we need more of this quantity of material than this quantity of material, that a different contractor could be considered the low bid. But our bidding is the way we review bid results is based purely on the unit pricing and the total dollar amount associated with that. So we don't expect any changes that would make it as such that award to a different contractor would have been better. But of course, there's always unforeseen conditions. So we can't control all of it, but with the unit prices, we do have prices for each item we may need to adjust quantities for. So we know what those prices are right now.
Okay. And last, I know this is on a very expedited timeline, 3 weeks. Are we paying a premium to get it done in 3 weeks?
It's a possibility that we're paying a slight premium with the results of this bid and we had 6 bidders on this project as a whole. None of the prices were outside of what I would expect on a tight construction timeframe. I would describe them as normal and typical bid pricing that I would expect.
Are we seeing any overtime pricing in there for workers' salaries or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Any other council questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilman Schreiber.
Thanks. Yeah, first I want to say thanks to city staff for getting this done. I know it took a lot of last minute effort and I think staff did a great job of accommodating the recommendations of the Urban Forestry Commission. So I just want to acknowledge that. One of your slides said the project is coming in on budget. When I looked at the city's website page, it shows a budget of 150,000. That's a pretty big discrepancy. Could you speak to that a little bit?
I'd be happy to. So on our FY25 budget, we had 150 from SURA that we were originally anticipating. That was anticipating that the project was going to be completed over 2 fiscal years. So we had budgeted a $250,000 project since 2014, about the same number every year, time and time again. That budget was really never revisited, always just a rollover number. When we attempted to tackle it in FY24-25, we were gonna straddle 2 fiscal years. So part of that 250 was gonna be encumbered in 2024 and the other portion was gonna be encumbered in 2025. So when we looked at budgeting in FY25, we only had 150 budgeted, with 100 gonna be previously budgeted of 2024. So that's one reason that we had a lower budget. For our SURA dollars, we had more revenues come in than were anticipated. So when we approached SURA earlier on in the project, we had discussions with them about the realistic dollars behind this project and what it would take. If this were to be a $250,000 project as originally planned for, we wouldn't have improvements that would have provided a 20-year parking lot, which is standard. We would have had to construct a substandard parking lot. So per our conversations with Sura and the additional revenue that they had available with, there's a couple moving pieces there, additional revenue, and then also the downtown revitalization not moving forward in construction this year. That also opened up that funding that we were able to build this parking lot and increase that budget from 250 to the 440 that we need without using general fund dollars.
Thanks. And so is this additional almost 200,000 going to affect the amount that's available for the downtown revitalization phase 3?
So the money that we have from Sura is defined, it's revenue dependent. The only project that we have left, and Mr. Mayor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the downtown revitalization project and some art projects. So essentially any funding that we use on this parking lot will come from that other project.
Yeah, and Councilman Schreiber, it's likely that SERS, they have a very conservative forecast. For example, building 8 of the seasons, the newest one out there, is generating more tax increment than anticipated because of the values of those. So SER will probably have more revenue than they anticipated, which we would expect to either pick up a new project or extend the phase 3 further with more amenities and other elements. And I should also add that we did brief Sura. There's 2 components of this that we haven't included in this. One is the 3 components, I'm sorry, kiosk, a digital paper, maybe a 36 by 24 kiosk that will be populated with a city events calendar to try to provide that better engagement with the public of what's happening at City Hall. Thought of that being in the southwest corner and the northwest corner, as well as the eventual potential parking, frictionless parking infrastructure that will follow on our parking policy. And then finally, some cameras. The police department has some very sophisticated cameras that help address crime and other things that would go on the light fixtures in these. So those will be separate projects that we would like to go to SER for funding, and they've been briefed on that and are generally agreeable to it.
And one more question, I think this is probably best addressed to you, Mr. Mayor. During the Urban Forestry Commission meeting, where we made those recommendations about this project, you'd made a comment about not knowing whether this parking lot was still going to be a parking lot in 10 years. Perhaps it's going to be a parking structure or something else.
Right.
One of the driving factors in this budget increase is
The length of the durability and
the long-term durability. So could you speak to the idea that we're building something long-term when it's not entirely sure that it's going to be there long-term?
Sure. At some point, I think the city will need a parking structure due to growth and the investment we're seeing downtown. I don't know if it'll be on this. I can't control the future, of course. Maybe it'll be on the old Army surplus site. Maybe it'll be on the northwest corner of 5th and Pine, where one was originally planned for. Obviously, as you know, former council members know, there had been conversations about a public-private partnership, sale of this parcel to a private entity to build a parking structure with housing or commercial. A lot of those are unknown, and I imagine any sale of the property would recoup any value that we put into it. But I like to plan for the long term and build for the long term, and the possibility of a $20 or $30 million parking structure is very, very long based on our other needs. So I hope this surfacing rehab will last a long time and serve the public well, and appropriately show the care that we have for our public facilities in Sandpoint. I appreciate any support.
Thanks.
Any other council questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to the downtown parking lot repaving project.
So moved.
Moved by Dick, second by Aspiro. This will be a roll call vote.
Counselor Howard,
Yes.
Counselor Dick,
Yes.
Counselor Rule,
yes,
Counselor Schreiber,
Yes.
Counselor Sprow.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, motion passes.
Thank you very much. Council members, I am really excited about this project. I appreciate your support. With the business on the agenda concluded, we are now adjourned at 5:50 PM.